Whew. Oh, good morning, internet friends. Welcome back to my channel. It's LC for Literal Cream. I'm here today, early in the morning, first thing when I woke up. I'm here with an apology. That's right, an apology. I was on You Now not too long ago, and we're talking about movies. And by the way, to whomever recommended I watch Hereditary, I did watch Hereditary, and it reminded me of a modern day Rosemary's Baby. A lot of sense. But not too long ago, I was on You Now talking about movies, and I said I just watched the film Deer Hunter, a 1978 film with Christopher Walken and Robert De Niro, Deer Hunter, and I said I hated it. I said it wasn't good. I didn't like it. I went in liking the idea. I wanted to watch a war movie, but then most of it just focused on a Russian roulette aspect, which seemed kind of strange. I thought it would be more about the Vietnam War. I'd actually not heard anything about this movie other than that it was a good movie, so that's why I watched it. And I didn't know it was just going to focus on Russian roulette, and that was my main criticism. I was like, there's no real plot to this. It takes a long time to get into. It's 3 hours long, and it's just Russian roulette after Russian roulette. It's really a strange premise for a movie, and I said I didn't like it. I said I hated it. The truth is, I've been thinking about that movie since I watched it, like replaying some of the scenes in my head. And I think I have to admit that I did like it, and I told everyone I hated it. And I thought I hated it. I really did. But I think I didn't. I think I must like it. Because I didn't watch it once. I watched it twice, and then I watched it again the other night. Look, it's not bad. It's strange, but it plays more like the way a story is told rather than a film. And that's why it has to be so long. And it's just good. I do have to say, I was wrong. I have to apologize to everyone that I told that I hated it, because I don't hate it. I think it's somewhat of a love-hate thing, because as I was watching it last night, I was really excited for them to get to the scene when they're in the jungle, the first scene in Vietnam, because I'm like, it's gonna get good, and it does get good, and then it stops for a while, and it gives you that sense of boredom in a way, but it's not the bad type of boredom, it's a good type. It's mundane, and it's every day, and it's slow, but it moves you along. You don't want to quit. And so again, I was thinking, I don't like this movie. Why did I want to watch this again? I don't like it. Then I do. It's a very strange film. I think it's powerful in a lot of ways, but it was not set up the way I thought it would be going in. But then again, I didn't know anything about it. And I I was wrong. So I have to apologize to everyone. But I said it was a bad film. It's not a bad film. And the music, the sound effects are amazing. There's such an intricate detail to sound throughout the whole film. When the guys are talking at the campsite, they have sounds of the jungle in the background. When they encounter pigs, they put in the pig squeal. Every little bit of sound plays a huge role. And I was talking to someone the other night and I was like, what is it like to experience movies blind? And I mean that you would only hear the sound, you only hear the dialogue. You know, what is that like? People that have grown up blind only listening to movies must have such a different interpretation of them. And I know a lot of movies have audio subtitles, I think, so they kind of explain what's going on. And I was thinking it must be similar to reading a play, reading the dialogue of a play, because you're more or less forced to make a picture in your mind with just dialogue versus actually seeing it or actually having a setup described to you. That's kind of what I was thinking. And it made me think of this movie, Deer Hunter. Like, I was thinking about that in terms of this movie, Deer Hunter, because the audio in it is just brilliant. And you really feel like, if you weren't watching the film, if you were just watching the dialogue, just listening to it, you really feel like you're in a conversation, like you're overhearing a conversation. It's not really, you don't feel like you're just listening to sound effects in a movie. Does that make sense? Maybe that makes sense. Sound overly pretentious. I hope not. That's on my intent. And it's just, I was wrong. I don't hate that film. I want to apologize because that's wrong. And if you've seen it, give me your opinion of it. If you haven't seen it, watch it. If you want to watch it, you got 3 hours to kill, or just put it on in the background because it's got great sound. I had a teacher, a science teacher, who was in the Vietnam War. From what I heard, he was a Green Beret. And he was the most wonderful teacher. He was really kind to all of his students. He had all these animals and plants in the classroom. He's just really sweet. And every year there'd be an announcement over the PA system on Veterans Day. And he would list off all the names of teachers in our school that had fought in a war, enlisted in the Army or the Navy. And they would get to his name, and without fail, every year someone would ask, have you ever killed anyone? Have you ever killed anyone? Because we're all just kids, but that's really a horrible thing to ask someone. But he would always say to that question in response, I'd been a part of a few operations that most likely took someone's life. He would say something along those lines, that he was a part of operations, orchestrated things. But, you never outright say that he did, but it was just real sad. So you knew he didn't want to say that, and he was the most caring guy you'd ever meet. He was really wonderful. He retired this year. It's kind of sad to think no one will ever get him as a teacher again. But we watched this film in his classroom about chickens. And one story was of a chicken who wanted babies real bad. But every time something happened to her eggs, an animal would eat them or kill cold. Just, it wasn't working out. So the farmer built her own little coop, her own little enclosure, so she could have eggs And finally, she had these babies, and she loved them, and she took care of them, and they followed her all around the barnyard. But then one day there was a hawk, and two of her babies were out in the middle of a field. Maybe it's just one, but they're out in the middle of the field, and the hawk was coming. And instead of running and hiding behind a bush, she ran out in front of those babies and sat on top of them. And then the hawk came and he swooped down. And he almost grabbed her, but he didn't because she was such a fluffy chicken. And she saved her little babies. What a sweet film. It's a really sweet film. And Deer Hunter was also a good film. And I apologize for saying that it wasn't. Thank you.